Long-time subscribers will know that I was awful with women until around 2014. That's when I discovered the game community, started learning from the OG coaches, going out, practicing my social skills. Now, fast forward to 2024, and I'm a full-time dating writer and coach, traveling the world, seducing women of every culture. But the truth is, in 2014, I still had a body count of around 25. I know it makes people uncomfortable to hear about body count, but the point I'm trying to make is that's 3.5 times more than what the average man has in his entire life. Okay, and I got 6 relationships out of that as well. This wasn't because I'm tall, dark, or handsome. I wasn't using any of the seduction skills that we talk about on this channel yet. I was all in all a pretty mediocre guy, especially in the eyes of women. But I was doing one thing that most average men do not do, and that is regularly putting myself in situations where sex can happen. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Before 2014, I was pretty much intimidated by all beautiful women. I needed 4 or 5 beers inside me to even consider talking to them. But I did have a lot of other things going for me. I had some popular friends who would get invited to a lot of parties, and they would bring me along and introduce me to women. That's how I met my first girlfriend and lost my virginity. On top of that, I would go to a lot of nightclubs with them all the time, and admittedly with 4 or 5 beers inside me, I would talk to a lot of women. I wasn't any good at it, but I would speak to enough of them that I could occasionally find a woman that took a shine to me. On top of that, I took a couple of working holidays in Magal during my early 20s. For those of you who don't know, Magal is a party island in Spain, which is pretty much known for being the place where all young adults go on their first holiday with their friends to drink a lot and hook up. So I had all of these things going for me. Like I said, I was awful with women. I didn't feel good enough for them. I was scared to talk to them, but I was putting myself in places where women get horny, parties, and I was talking to them. And the point of this video is that can be enough for you to live certainly an above average dating life. Women enjoy sex as much as men. It's just that they are shamed for being too easy. So they need to be a bit more careful about who sees their sexual side. But women at parties, they tend to care a little bit less about that. They just care about having fun at parties, okay? They just want to let their hair down, forget about the stress and all the rules society places on them. So if you can be the guy that approaches a lot of women at parties, brings the fun, doesn't shame them for being sexual, and invites them back to his place in a way that doesn't make them feel easy, you can live a remarkable dating life. And this is true now more than a decade ago, or probably ever in history, okay? Hookup culture is rampant in the West. Pro-feminist media is telling women that it's empowering to hook up with random men. And on top of that, the competition as far as men approaching women in the real world is lower than ever. A recent survey in the United States found that 45% of young men have never approached a woman in the real world with romantic intent, so to ask them on a date or even to dance at a nightclub or something like that. That drops to 29% when you consider men of all ages, but a further 27% of all men haven't approached a woman in a romantic way in over a year. Okay, these men would rather rely on dating apps. A lot of them don't want to go out and socialize with strangers. They definitely don't want to be rejected by women. They would much rather upload a few photos to Tinder and compete with the thousands and thousands of other male profiles to get a right swipe. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. My problem is these are the same men who are complaining online that modern dating is too difficult because women have so many options. And it's true, women are overwhelmed with romantic offers online, on dating apps, on social media. But what these men fail to acknowledge is that it's actually easier than ever for a man to become a woman's best option offline in that moment, right now. As I said, all you have to do is be the man that can approach in a cool way, bring the fun, not shame her for being sexual, invite her home in a way that doesn't make her feel easy, just to make hooking up a win-win. The problem is, for most average young men, they are too weak to even try that. If you're a subscriber to this channel, it should be even easier for you to dominate your local dating scene, because you've probably seen videos about how to approach women in a cool way, how to hook their attention, how to flirt and make them excited to come home with you. And you know that flirting with women is a skill which you can improve with practice, okay? So you should be able to succeed in your dating life in a far more consistent way than I was able to do in my early 20s, because I didn't have any of that information then. The crazy thing is, most people watching this channel, they don't do anything with the information. We put out a poll every month in our Telegram groups asking, hey guys, who here has approached at least 3 women in the last month? In January, only 60% of men said yes. And this is in a game channel. So if you can be the guy who actually does go out, who actually does work on his social skills, who actually does approach a lot of women, there is nothing stopping you from getting the dating life you want. And then you can start to laugh at the people online who are saying that modern dating is more difficult than ever. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, my new book, Offline Dating, features all the key lessons that I've learned about meeting and seducing women in the real world over the last decade. There's a link to find out more about that book in the description and the pinned comment. Other than that, my name's Joe. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll speak to you real soon.